Well, it's that time of the year again. You're thinking about your spring garden. Winter's almost over, and many of you have already gotten seed catalogs. Some of you have even already gotten seeds, so you're ready to start planting. For those of you that haven't or maybe new to gardening, this is a good time of the year to get those catalogs, look online at catalogs even, and try to pick varieties and types of plants that are going to work best for you. So those of you that already have seeds and are thinking about how to get a jump on the garden, you can germinate seeds indoors, and many of you have already tried that. There's lots of tools and things on this table that show what you can do. There's a lot of flats and lights and things that you might need if you're going to start seeds indoors. We're in a nice greenhouse here at Virginia State, and many of you don't have that, but some of you have hobby greenhouses, and those are great for starting plants. But even if you're inside and you've got some light or a room that has some light coming in, you can start some plants. And maybe you've got a room that's totally dark, you can use some supplemental lighting. One of the first things you need to think about, though, is what you're going to plant in. We've got a lot of different plastic pots here and cell packs. They're different sizes. Some have 6 little cells in them, some have 4. There's always a bottom flat. And sometimes you can find flats that are even smaller that people might be giving away that they've used in the past. As long as you clean them, those will work out fine for you. And it's pretty simple. You know, we've got some media here. This is not soil from the garden. You wouldn't want to use that here. But this is a light media that has peat moss in it and perlite and maybe some bark. And you can use this. You just need to fill up these cell packs with that, fill it all the way up. And then just make a depression and you can put the seeds in there. You water it down good, and eventually these are going to germinate. Most everything that you're going to plant is going to germinate within about 10 days. If you've gone 3 weeks or more, you probably are not going to have a good germination event happening there. So watch some things like maybe putting too much water on your flats where your seeds are sown, or maybe letting them dry out too much. You kind of have to find a way to get in the middle there. But when you're planting, you plant the seeds in there, push them down a little bit, let them get covered, and like I said before, just water them pretty good. Now, if you're inside, you can use some heat mats that are under these, that would go under this flat. That would keep everything warm, because you might, your house or your basement, wherever you're trying this, might not be all that warm. So you want to keep the area around this flat at around 70 to 80 degrees. And so that the seeds will have a good chance to germinate. You also want some humidity around the plants, and sometimes these propagation domes act like little greenhouses, and they can be put on top of the flat, and once you water, they'll keep the humidity in there and keep everything nice and moist for a better chance of germination. Now, if you are indoors and don't have a light source, once those plants germinate, you're going to need to get them either outside, but it's probably too cold at the time of the year for that. So you'd need to provide light inside. There's lots of different lights that are out there. You can also find these high-intensity discharge lights that greenhouses use, but they're very expensive and they put out a lot of heat. But for the homeowner, you can find fluorescent lights and some incandescent grow lights. These T5 fluorescent bulbs are relatively inexpensive, and they come in different lengths. And you can see some small fixtures here and also a longer fixture. And these can be bought, these bulbs can be bought specifically with certain wavelengths that they're emitting for plants. Now, as you're lighting plants, if you have no other supplemental lighting, no additional daylight, for example, coming in, you'd want to light plants for about 14 hours a day or so. Otherwise, if you've got them in a Florida room or somewhere where there's lots of light, maybe 4 or 5 hours. Now, one thing that I see growers or home gardeners kind of doesn't work out right for them is that they keep the lights too far away from the plants. You need to keep those lights 3 to 4 inches from the plants, from the vegetative area, as they grow, and that'll give plenty of light. With these fluorescents, it's really nice because they don't put out a lot of heat, and you can keep them that close. So one thing you can do, and some growers will do this, is put a fluorescent fixture on chains where it can be moved up and down. So as the plants grow, you can move it up so that it's not too close, but it maintains that 3 to 4 inch distance from the plant. So all these kind of things, the lights, the heat mats, the soilless media, and the flats are all things that you use to get started early. So you can have transplants that are ready to go to the garden. Maybe about 6 weeks before you want to plant, you would start these seeds. And so they'll be ready to go when you're ready to plant, when the weather breaks and it's time to get out there. And so maybe you'll be earlier than anybody else in your neighborhood growing your tomatoes. Well, for more information about starting seeds indoors or propagation in general, please contact your local county extension office and talk to your master gardener. For From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins. We'll see you next time.
From the Ground Up is presented with the generous advice and assistance of Virginia Cooperative Extension. Visit their website at ext.vt.edu.